Fun project for us. Tonight's the sort of the kickoff. We're going to do a beer dinner a week from tonight in New York for the East Coast. We brewed a fairly small amount, and we had yields that were smaller than we projected, so it's a pretty limited supply. So if you do see some around and you want to buy some, I would buy it right off because it probably won't be around more than a few days.
Yeah, and this is our theme song, by the way. We wrote this too. I was speaking with Ashley earlier tonight about Epiphany beers. She asked me which were mine, and I got into good beer, and I graduated from college in '95, moved to New York City, and started working at this bar that was an early generation beer bar. And my first two staff drinks that I had concurrent nights was Chimay Red and Sierra Nevada Celebration. And within weeks, I started home brewing and decided to go on this path that I've been on at Dogfish Head. And Celebration was a pivotal beer for me in that era. So you can imagine how proud I was when Sierra Nevada decided the first collaborative brew they would do would be with our little brewery in Delaware. And as Ken mentioned, we've worked together on the Brewers Association board for many years, and more than that, he's been very helpful in terms of my wife and I, Mariah, run Dogfish Head, and our kids, Sammy and Greer, it's my hope that someday they'll have the opportunity to work in a family business the way that Sierra Nevada has done it. And Steve and Brian, various Grossmans, are in the room tonight. And so, you know, we started with a lot of those conversations, and we realized we just had a lot in common as we started as home brewers. You know, this beer, as Ken mentioned, not only did we try to bring ingredients that are from our family's world, but also processes. So, you know, the fact that Sierra has been such a trailblazing company on their sustainability efforts, we thought it'd be really neat to do this session beer that was brewed with the second runnings as a sort of sustainably done small beer, imperial small beer. And, you know, Sierra's got one of probably the biggest bottle conditioning program of any brewery in America. Is that correct to say? Yeah.
I think any brewery in the world, actually.
There you go.
We could be bottle conditioned more beer. Cooper's is a close second, but
in Australia.
But we think we're right up there.
So
one thing that was very unique too is Sam and I, we use both of our yeasts in this beer, which is something we've never done.
Yeah.
And I don't think Sam has done.
Yeah.
So the yeast that was pitched into these beers was a blend 50-50 of Dogfish, your doggy yeast, and our Sierra Nevada.
And I noticed Bill edited out the film we shot there when I thought how sexy it was that our yeasts were doing it with each other and multiplying millions. I don't know why you edited that part out. It's sexy. But you know, those are components from the you know, that reference the sort of Sierra approach, and then the strength of the beers. Dogfish Head does a lot of vintage beers, vintageable beers that are in the higher alcohol range, and we also tend to put some non-Reinheitsgebot ingredients in our beer, and so those are sort of reference points for these beers with the maple and the birch syrup. And also just this idea of trees and this life and limb thing isn't really just about Sierra and Dogfish. It's really also a nod towards how altruistic and mutually supportive the entire craft brewing industry is. And we're just our breweries are two limbs of a vibrant 1,500 brewery branched family tree. And, you know, we kind of collectively get our nourishment from you guys, from places that sell amazing beer and from beer enthusiasts. Unlike the big breweries that rely on giant advertising campaigns, we rely on this sort of grassroots approach. So we thought that tree symbolism was appropriate.
Yeah, we're hoping that actually we're going to be with the leaders of the two major breweries next weekend, and so we're hoping they're going to get together and do a barley wine. Tom Long and
you think we can get that happen?
No, I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, it's already been blogged about, so watch out what you say. But yeah, that's true. Wouldn't that be neat? That would probably never happen, and that's what's wonderful of the craft brewing industry.
We're, you know, in our industry, and I think Sam coined the 98% asshole free or 99% asshole free.
Because Jack Joyce brings down our averages. He'll admit that, actually. He likes that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but I mean, what other kind of industry would you find a lot of brewers getting together and having fun and actually doing a joint beer together? I mean, or joint project together. You know, it wouldn't be the Google and the Yahoo's getting together and doing a joint web page or something like that. So it's a pretty unique thing that we can have camaraderie, and obviously we compete on the shelves with, you know, hundreds of breweries are out there vying for shelf space, but we're supporting each other's efforts, and I think it does raises the bar for all craft brewers for the beer world in general. So.
And the first beer that we'd love to ask you to raise and join us in a toast is the session beer that we mentioned, Imperial Small, and it's going to be much hoppier than the later Life and Limb, the big beer. How else would you describe this beer? And what hops? I believe some of the hops came from a farm. Right?
Yes, we have a hop farmer flew down here from Yakima, so Mike Smith showed up unannounced. I didn't know he was coming, so came down to enjoy the fruits of his labors. He's got a family hop farm, 4th generation, so we appreciate what the hop farmers have done for our industry and allowed us to brew these unique beers. So,
but how do you describe? What do you think of the beers?
The Lemon Life is a hop forward. We actually dry hopped it in our torpedo process, so we circulated the beer when it was aging through a big bed of fresh cone hops for about a week, I think a little over a week. And then it's also hopped in the cask as well. So this particular version is only, I think we did 4 or 5 casks of Lemon Life. There are some 5-gallon kegs that were racked, but there's no bottles of this first beer. So it was sort of a teaser. We had a very limited volume, and we saved casks for these kickoff nights. So there'll be one in New York and one tonight. With some extra hops added into the cask when it was conditioning.
Yep. So we hope you like it. As fellow branches of the craft brewing renaissance tree, let's all raise our glasses together. Cheers and thank you on behalf of our
Cheers. So there's a lot of beers and a lot of courses tonight, and Sam and I will have, I think each of us will have a beer during every course. We may or may not be able to speak in the room downstairs to everybody as a group, but we'll try to move around and talk to you individually at your tables as the dinner proceeds. So.
Wisely, he sailed here. He doesn't have to drive home tonight.
It's hard to sail from
Captain Greg.
But yeah, my captain's here, so I'm
So enjoy.
We came down the Sacramento River. It was a torturous trip. Anyway, we're here to answer any questions, and so feel free to come grab us and enjoy yourselves tonight.
We're going to have an amazing meal. Did you guys see this menu? I don't know if you did, but this is going to be an amazing meal, so we're glad to be here.